What's up, guys? Back with another video. Just arrived at the hotel for my powerlifting meet. It's about 6:30 right now, so I'm gonna go get my last meal in for the night. And then there's a Denny's, literally I could just walk to it. So I'm gonna walk there now, maybe get some pancakes and eggs or something like that. Keep it light. Get some carbs, get some proteins, and then maybe get some for tomorrow too. So I was gonna do Chipotle, but I'm not really sure if there's anyone close. There was like one 9 miles away or something like that. So I don't really feel like sending it to there. So I'll probably end up getting either the food tonight for tomorrow, or I'll get it in the morning tomorrow. But I have to be there to weigh in. Weigh-ins are at 7, I have to be there for check-ins at 6:30 a.m. So I might just grab the food tonight so I don't have to worry about that in the morning. Alright, so good meal right there. I actually got the same exact thing for tomorrow morning. So it's filler, but it's not like, it doesn't leave you too full. You definitely don't want to be like too full while you're lifting, but I like a nice small meal and then a ton of snacks and stuff like that. So these bad boys are the same shoes I've been deadlifting with, but a different colorway, and these are the ones that I am going with tomorrow. They really match my singlet really well with the yellow, so I ended up picking them up, you know. And then I got the, of course, you can't go wrong with the Kobe shirt. I mean, like, that just says I'm coming for you. Can't exactly wear that shirt while lifting. They want small logos in the USA PL. It's weird. USA Powerlifting is strange with that, but can't wear that shirt. But you know, I'm stepping in that building with some Mamba mentality tomorrow. Alright, 4:50 a.m., 159.4 pounds. So I got some time to sip some stuff. So my weight class limit is like 163. So I do have some room to play. Now my scale was pretty accurate last year, so I'm going off that. If I need to take some sips of water so I'm not fully like dehydrated before I weigh in, we're good. Next up, powerlifting meet. Let's go.
Go to bar for Anthony Cuocco. 402 pounds for Anthony. Bars ready. Go. Ready for Anthony. There you are tonight. Hey, Gino. Bars ready for Anthony. 440 pounds. Come on. Anthony Cuocco, 298-pound bench. 135 kilos. Jimmy, that's not too shabby. Bars ready. Here comes Anthony opening up. Go Anthony. Tight. Couple of kilos away from twice his body weight raw, Jimmy. Nice lift. Start, correct. 3 white lights, you know. He's got that in him, man. All right, our lifter is Anthony. Load the bar with 140 kilos. Rack height 12. 140 kilos, rack height 12.
Go!
It's good 2 to 1. Anthony. Oh. All right, this is about twice his body weight, folks. He weighs in at 72 kilos. Puts him very, very close, within a couple of kilos of twice his body weight. Very impressive for a raw bench to bench twice your body weight. Then
At one time they used to say, 1 in a million people can bench press double body weight.
that's correct. No lift. All right, we're going to strip the platform down completely, and then we'll put 10 minutes on the clock.
Hey, get out of the way!
Anthony Cuocco, 490 on the bar now. Bar's ready for Anthony. Three lights.
Go Anthony. Come on. I've seen it.
Nice.
Weight class, open division. We have 3 medals to hand out. 3rd place, Matthew McGoldrick. Open division. 2nd place, Lawrence Marquise. And your 1st place winner, Anthony Cuocco. 74-kilo weight class.
We'll probably be in the same meet.
Man, what a meet. What a meet. What a great day. First off, all glory to God. I felt him the entire time I was lifting, the entire time leading up to it, the entire prep. All glory goes to him. But what a day. I got there at 6:05 or something like that. Now, weigh-ins were supposed to be at 7 on the dot, right? I get there at 6:05. I am the only one in the parking lot. It's pitch black, like no street light. Like, it was the weirdest thing ever. I was like, I checked my phone like 3 times, making sure I'm at the right place, and I was. A couple minutes later, cars started pulling up. So we got in, registered around 6:30. Then weigh-ins were supposed to be at 7, right? So we go to start weighing in. I was the third one in line, and then they announced, okay, all girls are weighing in first. So I'm like, all right, well, they're probably going to be lifting first. That's the first flight. Makes sense. You know, there'll be about 5 minutes. There's not too many girls. There's probably like 10 girls in front of me. So I'm like, it'll be 5 minutes. They come out. They're like, the scale's broken. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, mind you, time is of the essence of weighing in, because you basically go into weigh-ins like, unless you're really underweight, you go into weigh-ins like not eating or not drinking anything prior, because you want to weigh in at the lowest amount. Because if it does come down to it and you lift the same as your opponent, it's all going to come down to the weight that you weigh. So they come out like 7:05. They're like, the scale's broken, it's not working. So everyone's running around doing all that. Come back. They come with a scale that weighs pounds, and they realize they're gonna have to convert the pounds to kilos. So they're doing all that stuff. Now, the girls literally take 45 minutes to weigh in. 45 minutes. It is 7:45 by the time I weigh in, which is insane. Insane. I've never seen anything like it. Literally, last meet, that's why I got there so early too. But last meet, I was the first one to weigh in. I was the first one in line, and then like it took me 1 minute. You know, strip down, weigh yourself, go. Okay, so I'm waiting there. It's probably like 7:30 right now. One of the USA Powerlifting announcers, he goes, according to USA Powerlifting rules, as long as everyone's weighed in by 8:30, the meet will resume at 9. And I'm like, I looked at the other ref. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. You're only giving some people 30 minutes to eat, drink, replenish, and then warm up and, you know, compete. Like, that 30 minutes is not long at all. So I weighed in at 7:45. In the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, I didn't have to water cup for this. I should be fine. It should be like any normal lifting day for me. Because honestly, I try in my gym days, I try and kind of like hydrate 2 hours before. I'm not hydrating the entire day. I'm kind of like replicating the meet scenario. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, all I have to do, hydrate fast any one meal. Like I normally eat a meal or two before working out, so it's okay. Like I'm not going in there fully depleted like normal. Like I'm at my body weight that I've been at for the past month. Like we're chilling. So with that being in mind, I was like, okay, let's put that behind us. Bad start to the meet, but it didn't affect me at all, which was good. But what did affect me, so I pull up, it's freezing out, right? I'm sitting in the parking lot, I'm like, man, they gotta have heat in that building. Walk in, it's freaking freezing in there. I'm waiting in line for an hour or something to weigh in. I'm like shivering this entire time, and you wanna be warm, you wanna be, you know, you want your joints to be all lubricated and stuff before you lift. Was not the fact. So the second I got off the scale, I grabbed my Pedialyte, went out to my car. I sat in the heat for like 15 minutes. I ate my pancakes and hash browns and eggs and stuff like that. Sat, warmed up till I wasn't cold anymore. Then I went back in and started kind of just, you know, warming up and getting all loose and stuff like that. So then, warming up for squats, everything's going good with squat warm up. Like I'm feeling fantastic. I actually warmed up a little too early because I don't want what happened a couple meets back where I just didn't have enough time to warm up and it was just a complete and utter fail. So I always, ever since that meet, I always try and warm up a little ahead of time, but you just gotta kind of watch the flights as you're going and watch and make sure that you're not too early or you're not too late for warming up and doing all your sets prior to lifting. So go up, squat, start at 402, down to 424, and then 440. Everything went perfect. Like squats could not have went better. There was no problem with my hamstring, which I knew heading into it. I knew like for a week there was not a single issue with this, so I was like, the hamstring thing, not even a problem. I'm not even worrying about it. Whatever happens on the platform happens, but I knew my squat would definitely be strong enough to at least go past my previous PR. So the 440 was a PR, and that was good. Now bench, I'm warming up. We get to like the top sets, and I'm actually on a bench which was not connected to the rack part. So it has the rack on the back, and then you can move the bench however you want to. So I kept moving it as we're warming up and as the other guys are warming up with me. Mind you, there's like five benches, but there's like 30 or so competitors. So it's like you have to warm up with each other. You can't just have your own. But so we're warming up. I'm adjusting heights on the rack because it's not feeling right. My last two warm-up sets, so my last one was 275 for a warm-up. My last two warm-up sets, as I'm taking it off, it's feeling like extremely heavy. It was because honestly the rack just wasn't at the right position. So I would take it off and it felt like 300 pounds. Like I'm going down with it, it's feeling fine when it's going down, and then I rack it and the rack was like back too far, but I did keep adjusting it as I was going, but it just wasn't at the right spot each time. And then my final set of 275, coach said rack it. I rack it. The whole freaking rack like shakes backwards, and it's just, you know, it was a lot of strain on my shoulder. So I'm like, okay, it's gonna be all right. We're gonna get up there. It's gonna be a sturdy platform, a sturdy bench. We'll be fine. So I go up. I'm ready, and they announce my name. They're like, Anthony Cuocco, 297 pounds. And I'm like, I thought I told them 292. So I'm walking over to the bench. I sit down on the bench, and I'm like, once you get your first weight in, you can't change and lower the weight. So I'm like, do I tell them 292 instead? And I'm debating it for a second. I'm like, no, just gotta send it. I did 315 last week. 297 should be cake. So I pull it, I go down. It was a long pause at the bottom until he said press. I held it at the bottom. I'm like, oh yeah, this is feeling real good. Press that thing. It was butter. And then actually yesterday I looked back and I'm like, I looked into my notes because I had all my notes and warm-ups and what my openers would be, and I did actually tell them 297, but in my head for some reason I thought it was 292. Glad I didn't change it and say, hey, back it down to 292, because 297 set me up for a nice 308 bench. 308, I went down, it felt good on the bottom. As I was going up, it was definitely a struggle, but I really grinded it out, and I got one red light. Not sure exactly what that was for, but as long as you get 2 white lights and 1 red light, you're fine. If you get more than 1 red light, it doesn't count. But I didn't even ask them what the red light was for. And then talked to my coach. He's like, dude, you're using too much energy on unracking it. You want to lift off? And I'm like, I don't want to lift off because it always screws me up. He's like, you just tell them you want a very, very light lift off and you're good. So I was like, all right. So we walk up, I go, dude, I need a really light lift off on my command. So I go to set up, and he literally does not walk up to the thing. I'm all set up, and then he finally walks up. And I'm like, no. I better adjust because I lost my tightness waiting for him to walk up. So I readjusted. He did a perfect lift off. I didn't even feel like, usually if someone does too heavy a lift off, all the weight then, when they give you the bar, goes right into your hands, and it just feels really heavy for me personally. So he did a fantastic lift off. He barely touched it, so I did use most of my momentum to bring it off him a little bit. So once he let go, like, it felt normal. So I go down, and I'm starting to press, and I'm just like, I think I got it halfway up, and I'm just like, I can't grab. The tightness on my back, I wasn't in the position to like press more. Honestly, everything's about leverages, and I just knew I wasn't at that exact position where I'm just like ready to press it and keep going. So I tried a little bit. My hip was getting tight and my lower back was getting tight. I'm like, okay, 314's not in the books right now. It's fine. Like, I wasn't worried about it. I just hit 308, and the 297 was actually a meet PR. Then I hit 308 was another meet PR. So I was chilling with that. In my mind, I knew 314. I wrote it down. 314 was going to be my final one, and me and coach decided on that. So then it was deadlift time. I'm like, okay, just need to secure this. I'm like, we're securing this thing. No bombing out of the meet. I hit 490 for an easy single. Flew up. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. I secured at least a position on the scoreboard, because if you don't get one of your lifts, you just bomb out. I've done that twice, and it's literally the worst thing in the world, because all that work leading up to it didn't even matter. So I was like, sweet, I'm in the meet. Let's have fun with it. I go, coach, pick whatever numbers you want. I don't really care. All I have to do is know that it's heavy, and I just have to pick it up. So I don't really care what's on the bar. So he sets me up. I pulled the second set. It went up. It actually did go kind of fast. Like, there was no struggle towards the top. So I guess you could say it went fast, especially for a meet. So after that pull, I didn't want to know what I just pulled. I go, all right, third one, send it. Whatever you want to do. And in my mind, I walk back to the warm-up area. I'm like, he's either going to pick 555 or 560, because that's in my brain. I'm like, he's going to try and set me up for a PR. I don't know what that last one was, but he's going to try and set me up for a PR for the third one. I know it for a fact. It's going to be 550, 560. So I go up to the bar, go down, start pulling. It just wasn't there. I knew it. I know what it feels like when it's just like too heavy for you to even pick up. So it got off the ground, and I'm just like, okay, didn't get it. It's fine. I don't really care what it was. Then I asked him. I said, what was the second one? He said 524. Yeah, I think it was 524. I was like, cool. That's more than I did in prep, because I failed that 520 I failed that 520 a couple weeks back. I told you guys that my deadlift wasn't there this year. I don't know what happened, but it's all good, because I did hit 550 in my last meet. But so I knew he was gonna either go 555 or 560 to break a PR. So he ended up picking 556, which in kilos, that was the next one up. So I ended up not getting it. It was cool. Came out on top, came out first place. I wasn't sure 100%, because I didn't know the numbers if I got first place. So I asked him right away. I'm like, what place did I get? He's like, first. I'm like, sweet deal, let's go. And the person who got second, as I was weighing in, you could see who's behind you weighing in. I looked up the entire line. I'm like, that kid is the only one I'm gonna have a problem with, because I saw he was probably an inch or two taller than me, and his legs were pretty good size. So I was like, if anyone I'm gonna have an issue with, is gonna be that kid, and he did end up getting second place. So overall, fantastic meet. The only thing that sucked about it, so as you're waiting in line, or as you're in between sets, obviously everyone's drinking fluids, everyone's hydrating. The bathroom, there was only one toilet for the men's and one toilet for the women's. So you're literally waiting in line 5 people deep, and it was before all the lifts even started. I think I was getting ready to go up for my first squat attempt. I'm waiting in line. I'm just like, okay, this isn't happening. There was a shower next to it, and I just started the trend of like, okay, the shower goes to the same place. I'm a plumber. It all goes to the same place. I'm going in the shower. I'll just run it right after I go, and we're all good. And then everyone started using the shower too. But like, they can't do that. They cannot have one bathroom. That's the only gripe that I had, besides the late weigh-ins too. Those were the two things that were just like an issue. But one I made sure wasn't an issue, and then that one I was like, okay, we're not doing this. Like, so I used that shower like 5 times or something like that. But yeah, overall great day. They went with a different approach on the medals this year. They didn't go gold, silver, and bronze. They went with this black one. It looks pretty sick, but it does say then first place on the ribbon, I guess it would be called, the neck ribbon, whatever it is. But so no gold, silver, and bronze, but it's a pretty fly looking medal, if I do say so myself. And yeah, this is the third first place medal that I've taken, but this one's definitely the most important one to me, because the first two were the first two competitions of my career, so it didn't really mean too much to me because I'm just starting to get into it. The one was at USPA, which is United States Powerlifting Association. The second one was RPS, which I don't remember what that one's called, but it's RPS. Those were both 24-hour weigh-ins, which is cool. You can weigh in 24 hours before you go up. But and then I did take third place at USA Powerlifting Northeast Regionals. But then this one definitely, I think this one means the most to me. The coolest one, I guess, the coolest trophy was the RPS one with the big, it had like the big trophy with the like the monster on the front. But the third place one, the third place at Northeast Regionals, that one was the most impressive one to me. But this one definitely meant the most to me, because after failing the last meet, just because my heel lifted off the ground a ½ an inch, like I was still I was the strongest one in this meet, and I was the strongest one in that meet, but yet I didn't get the first place because my heel lifted off the ground. And then this one, I was just like, okay, I deserve this one. After all the hard work I put in for that meet and this meet, this one I deserve the most. So, but anyways, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching. I got 2 big videos left on this meet prep. One's a physique update, and then the other one's a special video. So I want to thank you guys for watching. If you want to be notified for those videos, push the little notification button so you're notified for them. And then I will see you guys next time. Drop a like if you enjoyed. Peace.